And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us here. We got our friend Berny Jaques, State Representative Berny Jaques, joining us here today on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And he is out of the Largo District here, right in Tampa Bay, Pinellas County, District 59. We're going to talk about DOGE, Florida, what's happening with the State Department of Government Efficiencies, also annual property taxes. A lot of talk about trying to significantly reduce those, possibly eliminate. And then also, DeSantis was in the news as well, calling for a new U.S. census. And to me, it makes so much sense. There's so many illegals that were in our country, maybe not so many in Florida as compared to some of the bigger cities, your Illinois, New York, California, et cetera. So I want to get his opinion on that. We're going to talk with State Representative Berny Jaques here coming up in just a moment on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Jennie Restrepo also joining us, Insured Title Agency. We're going to dive into some economic numbers there, GDP, what's going on with Too Late Jerome, and what he's costing Americans. A lot of Americans wanting to refinance their properties. A lot of people are stuck in a home that maybe they need to downsize from. A lot of seniors. I'm seeing that and reading that and hearing that. A lot of people in a home that they don't need to be in, but they're staying because the rates are so low. So we need Too Late to start acting here. Or it seems like we might be on a different path there as well. All right, a couple of hot listings, and we'll jump right into it here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate everybody, by the way. We've got several deals in process right now. We're helping folks sell or buy, and it really means the world to us by reaching out to the show hotline. That's how we generate our income. It's through our real estate business. We help our sellers maximize the exposure and the profit on the sale of our real estate listings. Multiple channels. We're on 860 The Answer, of course, 93.7 FM. We've got our weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. We get bonus replays also on the weekend from 860 The Answer. So everybody appreciate you. Just know that we really appreciate you supporting the program and calling the hotline, reaching out to the show through our website at consumerqb.com. And we got a couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. I got a new one, but we already went pending on it on Lake Tarpon. So that one, we're going pending on that one right now. So let's look at our next biggest available. One of our nicest ones here, one of my favorite listings is the one on Cobb's Landing here, Dave. I'm looking for that 3308 Landing Place, Palm Harbor. Great opportunity right here in beautiful Palm Harbor, Florida. Cobb's Landing. It's a private community on the lake. You're right on Lake Tarpon here. 3 bedrooms plus an office, 3.5 bath, 2-car garage, 3,000 square feet, over a third of an acre lot. Ground level master bedroom, private pool, outdoor entertainment area, private marina, boat slip, ramp to Lake Tarpon. So take your boat out. It's all about lifestyle in Florida. You've got your boat, your jet skis, you're fishing on the weekends. This weekend I was able to take out my son, my oldest son. He's 3.5. And it was our first day out on the boat, just my son and myself. And, what a cool day, right? I mean, your first time out with your son, and he was able to handle it and had fun out there. And just went cruising with some Freedom Boat Club there. But, yeah, this is the ability to go out on that lake, Lake Tarpon, go to dinner, go to lunch, and go fishing, go skiing, enjoy, and make those memories that you're going to remember. They always say it's not how much wealth you accumulate. It's not your businesses. It's the memories. It's the times that you spend with family and loved ones. So this is a great opportunity. 3308 Landing Place in Palm Harbor, Florida. Gated tennis, basketball courts, waterfront park. Great opportunity to buy real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. We got a great condo here as well, a townhouse actually, 2547 Lexington Oak Drive. This one's in Brandon. Got a nice townhouse, very well priced, 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 1-car garage, 1917 square feet. Got new flooring, fresh carpet throughout. All bedrooms also have remodeled en-suites. Large community pool, beautiful kitchen, lighter color kitchen there. And you have a level EV charger, 2 EV charger in the garage. 2547 Lexington Oak Drive. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Only in America, dreaming in red, white, and blue.
All right, yeah, only in America. And Bernie, it reminds me songs like that, just there's so many things about America, just, and your story, man, just there's so many things that resonate there when you think about Only in America. Berny Jaques, welcome to the show, friend.
Thank you, Brandon. Thanks for having me on. Absolutely. Only in America can someone like me have the honor and the privilege of serving the great people of House District 59. This country has certainly been a blessing to me and my family, and it's worth protecting.
Absolutely. Let's jump right into it, man. What is new with DOGE in Florida? Department of Government Efficiency. I mean, Elon on the national level, cut so much fraud, waste, abuse. The liberals were screaming about the US aid, all this money that was going overseas being wasted. What are we seeing on a local level and throughout the state of Florida?
Yeah, look, Elon kicked this off at the national level, and we took a page out of his book here in the state of Florida. Governor DeSantis and our state leaders set up our own Florida DOGE in order to root out waste, fraud, and abuse here in our state. And we're going to be learning more. And you're seeing, as of late, the state has been going into different counties, cities, and other governmental entities to see where the money is going. And it's not just our governor. We just had a newly appointed CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Blaise Ngolia, formerly State Senator Blaise Ngolia, and he's hit the ground running as well. And he's showing up on site himself. I believe he was just in Alachua, and he's wanting to see the books. And Floridians want to see the books. And as a state legislator, so do I. I want to see where all this money is going, if there's any potential waste. So we're seeing in the Tampa Bay area as well. We're going to learn a lot. Hillsborough County and Pinellas County are under DOGE inspection as we speak.
I love that. Yeah, Hillsborough. I'm hearing a lot, too, from Billy Christensen. He ran for supervisor of elections. And, I'm hearing a lot from him about Hillsborough County needing to be looked into, especially the supervisor of elections offices. I haven't dug into the details on it, but maybe just make a note of that. But yeah, in the big thing that I run across, of course, as a owner of a real estate team and a top 100 team here in Tampa Bay, my wife Lindsay and I own Platinum MVP team Keller Realty. A lot about real estate. A lot of people are dealing with the frustration of interest rates, and I know that's more of a national thing with Too Late Jerome. Not moving the rates at all, but annual property taxes, that's something that has got a lot of people excited. And, some of the naysayers are saying, well, how are you going to pay for it? What's the kind of a lowdown or update there, Bernie?
Yeah, it's a hot topic. And real quick, before we go into that topic, just want to touch again on this Hillsborough DOGE activity. You mentioned Billy Christensen. He's a guy I follow as well. But also Sitting Commissioner Josh Wastel made news on his X account saying that some of the things that are going to be uncovered probably includes political activity, political spending, towards maybe the Biden campaign and other left-wing activities, misappropriation of funds. Mm-hmm. And this is a county commissioner, who is telling us that. So I'm very curious. I can't wait to see what it uncovers, because this is hard-earned taxpayer dollars, right, that are going into this, which segues into the next point, what you're bringing up, property taxes. I mean, when you're looking at a situation where folks are getting hit hard with property taxes in an age of high cost of living, it's only going to make folks even more upset when they see the waste, fraud, and abuse that's happening at the governmental entities that are collecting these taxes. Mm-hmm. It's one thing if you're using it for key government services, things that we all believe in, fire, police, our roads, etc. But if you are spending that money on things that is not within the role of government, or misspending on things like political activity, it makes people even more willing to see the elimination of the property taxes, because the government's not being a good steward of those dollars. And so I have the honor of serving on the select committee on property taxes in the Florida House of Representatives. This is something we're looking into. We want to make sure that we bring significant relief to the people of the state of Florida when it comes to property taxes.
Yeah, I love that. That's, man, look, we work so hard for our dollar, and the cost of groceries, gas, and everything has gone up over the Biden years, and President Trump and team are working to bring that down. A lot of people are working to bring that down. We finally have common sense back. And, when you look at the waste, fraud, and abuse in national government, local governments, and state. I love the fact that this is highlighted now. This is something that we're looking into, and hopefully, there are some tangible results. By the way, have we seen any tangible results yet from those activities in Florida?
So we have been seeing some reports of some illegal DEI spending, the audits that are going to occur in the Tampa Bay area. I haven't seen a report yet. This is just recent breaking news within the last 24, 48 hours or so. So as of this call, so I haven't seen anything yet. But folks are saying they will comply, and if they're not complying, the governor and certainly Chief Financial Officer Blazing Golia is going to make them comply. These are hard-charging leaders. These are folks that are not going to take no for an answer when it comes to opening up the books and to allow transparency to occur. And so in order for the people of the state of Florida to know what is occurring with their own money.
Yeah, I agree. And we're talking with State Representative Berny Jaques here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, longtime friend of the program. And Bernie, we're also seeing, the U.S. Census, the call to redo this U.S. Census, because I saw a tweet also. This may be the first year that we actually have negative migration to the country, so that's a good thing, right? We're kicking a lot of the bad people out, a lot of the folks that Trump, so notably and famously said, some of the rapists, the murderers, of course, that's who came through the open border. It was an open call from the Biden administration, come on in. And essentially we're getting them out now. And it's such a shame to see ICE targeted, some of these doxing that's going on. Any update on the potential for a new U.S. Census? I think that's going to be so key to winning future elections.
Well, you're seeing other states already on the move. Texas, notably, has a special session where they're taking on this issue. And over there, it's quite comical. The Democrats and the legislature in Texas, they fled. They fled the state. They're hiding out in some hotel in Illinois, miles and miles away, instead of doing their duty. Pretty shameful when you think about it. When we all take the oath to serve in our different capacities in government, the people understand that oath to mean that we're going to step up and do our duty. And it may not always be in alignment with what your constituents want you to do. You may have a different view, but at the very least, basic understanding is that they expect you to vote, right? They expect you to actually show up to work and to do it one way or the other. But to just flee the state and not take on this issue is crazy to me. So Governor DeSantis has talked about this as well, to look into this in the state of Florida. So stay tuned on that. The thing about Florida too is there was just a study by Tax Watch that said we were actually undercounted. So when you're undercounted, there's a lot of things that comes from that, and there's a lot of negative impacts that stems from that. So in the case of Florida, they're saying approximately 750,000 residents were not accounted for, which means that's $11 billion in federal funds that could have come to the state that we're missing out on, and about maybe 1 or 2 congressional seats that we could have had additionally that we don't have right now. So, and when you look at a state like Florida, that's obviously growing. We see the in-migration numbers within our state. Every piece of funding that we can get back in order to keep up with the pace of growth is essential. And so this is something that we are potentially going to look at. It's important to note that the U.S. Constitution says every 10 years, the census has to happen, and we have to do reapportionment based on the numbers. But constitutionally, there's nothing that prevents it from happening more frequent than the every 10 years as well, right? So that's a legal point that folks have to understand.
Yeah.
And if there's a compelling case for it and we see it, expect Florida to go down that direction. So stay tuned.
Yeah, unprecedented times. I mean, who would have thought that a United States president and team and cabal, essentially, is what we're finding, that was running our country, would intentionally open up the border, Bernie, right? Would you have ever thought that? And then now here's a tweet from Town Hall It says, how about net migration? It's down. It's going to be at least 60%. We may be dealing with, get this, negative net migration to the United States. That would be the first time in negative net migration in this country in 50 years. So, yeah, so unprecedented times, unprecedented measures call for the same in terms of action.
I agree. And what the Biden regime did during the last 4 years is completely intentional. It was completely intentional, letting in millions upon millions. I think it was like 20 million illegal aliens into our country, not only through the open borders, but also by flying them in, by facilitating the invasion. They were literally paying for plane tickets, going into these countries and bringing them into our communities, and a lot of these folks were largely unvetted. Yeah. And that is one of the biggest issues about illegal migration, is that you just don't know who is who. So when you do get those rapes and those murders, it adds insult to injury because it was a failure of government. Government failed to check who they were letting into your own community, and next thing you know, either a member of your community or even worse, someone in your own home is harmed by one of these illegals. This has to stop. When this is stopping under the leadership of President Trump, we are seeing the last couple of months no illegal crossings. It's mind-boggling what a change of a administration can do, right? It went from countless folks getting across to now zero coming in, and it just goes to show you all you have to do is first and foremost is just enforce the laws. Yep. And really set the tone that illegal entry will not be acceptable, and we're seeing folks getting deported out of our country as well.
That's right. Yeah, good stuff. More with Representative Berny Jaques on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back talk with more with State Representative Berny Jaques here, state representing District 59 in Largo. I want to talk a little bit more local here, local news, anything happening. Also, kind of interesting story too. There was a Florida restaurant suing the city of St. Pete over homeless sleeping in the streets. Might bring that up here next here. Quick break, right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleaning, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894. consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com, our friend Derek Coble at rightwaypa.com. Looking to level up your sales game? With 20 plus years of coaching experience spanning across several industries, Lindsay Rimes helps everyone from entry-level reps to seasoned business owners boost sales, improve work-life balance, and retain top talent with customized options catered to personal, group, or corporate settings. Brandon and Lindsay Rimes offer training on negotiation strategy, business development, and more. Let's grow your business together. Call 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Submit an email at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here. We're talking with State Representative Berny Jaques on the Consumer Quarterback Show, representing Largo District there, 59. And a couple of hot listings. We'll jump right back into it. We always feature our real estate properties live on air, and it helps our sellers sell faster for more money. 9594 Southeast Mare Camp Road in Ocala. This is a commercial property. We've got 5,725 square feet, acre of land, thriving hardware store, multiple income streams coming in. Great opportunity. You're buying the business, you're getting the building, and you got the land. 9594 Southeast Mare Camp Road, Ocala, Florida. Great opportunity. One of our commercial listings from the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard. This is another single-family home in Claremont, Florida, and this is an estate-style home. You're talking 5 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, and you have a 2-car garage, 3121 square feet, acre of land, gated community with lake access, and this is truly a rare gem at an excellent price. Magnolia Island is home to only 30 homes in the community, so it's an exclusive location. 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard, Claremont, Florida. You can see all of our listings, platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Bernie, wanted to ask you this final question here. There's a clip I could play. It's a Florida restaurant, the owner suing the city of St. Petersburg. And essentially it's, hey, look, I've got homeless people all over the place out here, and I'm trying to run a business. What's your thoughts, generally speaking, around that?
Yeah, it's an issue, and it's such an issue that we had to pass a bill last year that banned the public camping that we've been seeing with homeless folks in our cities. And so that is now currently against the law. And now we need cities to actually enforce the law, because we took a statewide approach, and I was a proud co-sponsor of that bill. In fact, this year I added on to my efforts by sponsoring an appropriations to Williams Park, right there in the heart of downtown in St. Petersburg, to create some measures, things like fencing and other measures to prevent homeless folks to just camping out and setting up shop in a public space. We want to gain back. We want to take back our public spaces for the benefits of our community members, families, and so forth. We want to be able to go and enjoy a pleasant day without worrying about folks just laying around in a very not so pleasant scene, if you know what I mean. And
Yep.
Business owners are impacted by this, right? So it's one thing about the quality of life where we can't openly enjoy these public spaces, but think about if you have a storefront and you're trying to run a business and trying to attract customers, but a city's allowing folks to just camp out on the sidewalks or park right across the street. It does not make for the most pleasant storefront. It does not make for the best business-friendly environment. And these are a lot of small businesses, right? These are not big corporates. These are folks who need everything that they can get to draw in customers into their doors. And so I really hope the city of St. Petersburg takes action and enforce the law that we passed. Eliminate the public camping, restore good quality of life for our community, for our citizens and our businesses.
That's right. Yeah, common sense. Let's bring common sense back. Check them out online, folks. Are you still at Berny4Florida.com?
Yes, sir.
Berny with a Y. Berny with a Y. 4Florida.com. That's State Representative Berny Jaques. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Brandon. Take care.
My pleasure. All right, coming up, Jennie Restrepo, Insured Title Agency. We're going to talk property fraud alerts, little economics, and more coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
Welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Jennie Restrepo joining us in studio here. She represents Insured Title Agency, and she's a wealth of knowledge on all things real estate related, especially relating to property fraud. Jennie, we've had our ongoing conversations about these perps trying to steal properties, trying to record satisfactions of mortgages and things of that nature. But we've got a case that just happened where somebody got sentenced, so I'm excited to hear about that.
Yes,
that's
so
going to be good.
For all of the times that I've been here on the show, and maybe I need my own little cape and stuff, I'm a crusader against property fraud and title fraud. But when I first started sharing all of these stories, I would say this happened, this happened, this happened, and then it was the follow-up, but then nothing happened to the criminal, or they ghosted. They were just in the wind and no one even knew who they were. So the update to the story is that there was a recent story out of the Orlando area. A woman was caught recording a fake deed. She was adjudicated by a court of law, and she was sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Good.
So this is a great trajectory for us to start going in, because once the courts start seeing these cases, once the courts are able to start ruling on these cases, they create precedent.
Yeah.
And once precedent exists, it allows an easier path for other lawmakers to go ahead and set sort of a precedent for how these cases are going to be sentenced and what's going to happen to these people for the different levels of crime that they are committing.
Yeah.
So they do get their day in court, but if
Good.
they are found guilty in a court of law, then we're having sentencing precedent, and that's good, because as the crimes start being prosecuted and as these people are found guilty, that's going to start to be a deterrent
Yes.
to criminals that are looking to commit these crimes or stay in this kind of crime, or maybe they're going to commit these crimes in other states that are not paying as much attention to it as Florida is.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jennie, yeah, that's a great point. And when you take these risks, and they have the thing FAFO, all that, but when you mess around, you find out. And you're finding out in Florida, we don't play that. In this area, we don't play that. We're tough on it. At Keller Williams, we have a lot of education and training around sniffing this out.
Yes.
Especially if it's vacant land, out-of-state owners, pretending to be out-of-state owners. We know what you're up to, so we're going to find you, and we're going to apply all pressure necessary and file charges, and that's going to happen. So I love to hear that. I want to jump into a couple of hot listings before we go further into this interview. We always feature our listings.
Where we know that this is the correct seller.
That's right.
Because the Platinum MVP team does all of their due diligence.
That's right. We sure do. We got one on Old Sycamore Loop, Dave, the 10711 Old Sycamore Loop, Land O'Lakes, Florida. This one is a opportunity for a family home. It's a 2-story home here, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, over 2,000 square feet. You got a single family home, gated and fenced. Large fenced in backyard. You have a community pool there as well, huge community pool, and a great opportunity to buy real estate in Land O'Lakes, Florida. Great city, 10711 Old Sycamore Loop. Great schools in the area, and a beautiful property. Owners are motivated there on that listing as well. Let's take a look at 7991 Lake James. This one's over in Lakeland, Florida. This is, I believe it's Jamie on our team. Great opportunity to buy real estate here. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-car garage. You got 1,900 square feet And this is a 55-plus community, gorgeous interior, lighter color, kitchen cabinetry, tile and flooring. Beautiful community pool again, nice pond there with a water feature. 7991 Lake James Boulevard. And if you're buying, selling, investing, or refinancing, I've got my mortgage license now as well, and we can help you, in all those different areas. And this is a great time to take a look at, maybe getting pre-approved for that purchase, and hopefully we'll get some rates movements here soon as well. And you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, I got a quick clip here. I wanted to play this.
Writing on Truth Social, Trump wrote, quote, second quarter GDP just out, 3%, way better than expected. Too late, that's the nickname he gave Powell, must now lower the rate. No inflation, let people buy and refinance their homes. And here he is elaborating on the topic from the White House yesterday.
What you do is you lower them, and let's see if there's inflation. Right now, there's no inflation. We're keeping the rates high, and it's hurting people from buying houses.
It's hurting a lot of people, and I'm seeing this on a daily, with our team. I did a mastermind yesterday with Keller Williams Realty, the top 10% in the offices, about 1,000 agents. There was about 100 in the room, top 10%. And a lot of the conversations are around, interest rates just being a little bit too high still. So if we were able to drop rates a point and a half, get it down into the 5% range, then you're going to see a lot of activity, a lot of not only refinance activity, but let's say, for example, seniors, who I feel terrible for right now. What they've gone through, this roller coaster of inflation under the Biden years, and the economy just being terrible. So now a lot of these seniors are stuck in a large home that they don't need. Or maybe their kids have just kind of abandoned the nest for the first time. People are stuck in these situations where normally they would be able to, kind of refinance out of that or buy a new property. So I'm seeing it a lot of times. So you got days on market are up, prices are dropping, and the market is one of the slowest it's been in quite a while. And inflation is near zero, or near the 2% mark that they looked at. So I think they need to start really taking a hard look at adjusting rates, and that's going to boom this economy. I think this economy is just waiting for something like that to happen.
Well, if you recall back when interest rates were at 2%, you couldn't buy a house because there were bidding wars. There were 20 offers on every single property.
Yeah.
So what I would say is there's an opportunity for the teams to get out there and just educate the public. You as a buyer are in no better position to buy a home than when the seller is desperate to sell it to you and there's no other offers on the table.
That's a good point.
And that interest rate is temporary.
Yeah.
So you marry the house, you date the rate. And you don't want to wait. If you sit around on the sidelines and wait until the interest rates become whatever they may be in the future, you're now going to be in a bidding war situation. You're going to be trying to get your best offer in. And what we saw, so I'm not going to say in my opinion, but what we saw coming out of 2020 and in 2021 is people paying way more for these houses than they intended to pay or wanted to pay because of the bidding wars. So in my own opinion, you're making nothing off of those rent payments. So if you're currently renting, now is the time to reach out to the show, see if you can get qualified or get yourself on a plan. Maybe you can get qualified in the next 6 months. But you can Google as much as you want. Honestly, the best way to figure out, can I buy a home, is talking to an experienced lender, getting your personal situation, your own free consultation, and making that decision for yourself, because there's a lot of information out there, and if all you needed was access to information to navigate the home buying process, we would not exist. Well, title would still exist because you got to make sure the paperwork is right. But there's a lot more to it than just Googling something. So I would say act now, because that interest rate, if it does go down, refinance it. But you already have your house and you got a good price on it because that seller was motivated to sell and you weren't having to bid against 10 other buyers vying for the same exact property. Yeah,
there's two ways to look at it. Right now, you're able to make offers less than asking price. You're able to negotiate seller concessions. They're going to have an opportunity to ask for repairs. They're going to be more willing to do repairs. And Jennie's point is well taken, with the caveat that in 21, 22, there was a little bit of what we call, an irrational market, because you had so many people fleeing some of the lockdown states and they were moving to Florida. So they were looking at, hey, I'm moving at all costs. I don't care what it costs me. I'm going to overpay for that property if I need to. And it just so happened to be, the interest rates were favorable. But right now, I think it's a lot about price point driven. It's a lot about affordability. And there's also a lot of misconceptions, Jenny. What's the number one misconception that you see? Because I see, a lot of times I hear, oh, well, I don't have 20% to put down. They think that huge down payment is needed.
So many things out there. I hear a lot of people say, do not take advice from your cousin's friend. Do not just Google it. Do not listen to the news, because none of those sources can really drill down on your personal situation.
Yeah.
And clearly, we can't make a blanket statement. Everyone can buy a house. That's not the case.
Right.
But you could put yourself in the right position. Maybe you have some homework to do. But the only way to have that personalized plan of your pathway, your own pathway to home ownership, is by reaching out and having a personal consultation, laying your situation out, and then maybe you do have some homework assignments to do, but a lender can give you that really guided experience and say, if you do A, B, and C, you will be ready to purchase in 3 months, 6 months, and give you a timeline that works for you.
Yeah.
If you sit around making guesswork I have a girlfriend that she's been sitting on the fence, and she's my personal friend, and she has all these misconceptions. She doesn't listen to reason. She won't make any decisions, and here she is still renting.
Yeah, it's tough. The renters, you're paying 100% interest rate.
Right.
As a way to look at it. But yeah, when you think about the renting scenario out there too, our lenders can put together a rent versus own analysis for you. So let's just take a look at it on paper. And it's like Jenny said too, if this is not a next month thing, and maybe it's a next year thing, next 6 months thing, take a look at it. Let's get you, in the process. That way, you at least, it's one of my favorite Tony Robbins quotes. It's something to the effect that you never leave the sight of setting a goal without taking some type of small action item step towards achieving that goal. And it could be as simply as calling our hotline. Our number is 813-917-1894. You could just simply call that number, save that number in your phone, text that number, 813-917-1894, and just let us know what your thoughts are. Say, hey, I'm renting, I'm paying $1,500 a month in rent. I've been on my job for this many years. I'm looking to try to get into a $250,000 home. Okay, well, let's set that out. Let's put that on a spreadsheet, right, Jenny? Because when we put it on a spreadsheet, they'll see on one side, here's what I'm paying rent. Here's what our projections are for 5-year equity growth. Here's our debt pay down. Here's our equity. It's going to be awesome, right?
I think that this is not something that you can make guesswork on your own. This is something where you need to talk to a trusted professional. This is something where you need to see your individual situation on paper. And when you go through a trusted source, then you can see, is this going to work for me? Especially if you're downsizing, if you're a senior, you may be able to do a reverse mortgage. And that's getting the equity out of your home while still staying in your home. There's just so many options out there that maybe you do need a little help with down payment assistance or closing costs, etc. Sellers are much more negotiable to helping out with some of those negotiating items when they've been on the market for longer than they expected to be and they don't have any other offers. So now is the time to get with someone from the Platinum MVP team, get that deal going, and you may be surprised, hopefully pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
You may be surprised that now is the time for you to buy. Sitting on the sidelines isn't earning you any equity. It isn't paying down your interest rate. And we cannot predict. We can listen to the news. We can say this may or may not happen. But meanwhile, you're still paying 100% interest on your rent payments.
Yep.
So get that house, get it negotiated, get the price that you're comfortable with, get the incentives that you may need to get into the home, and get yourself started. And then if those interest rates do come down, you refinance it and you get the interest rate down.
That's right. Yeah, and that's a bonus. That's a bonus if that happens. And we also have off-market properties. We're scrubbing all the FSBOs and expireds out there. We're finding things that aren't even on market. So if you don't see something particularly that you like online, give us a call anyways. Let us kind of put that in our pocket. We call that pocket listings, pocket buyers. So there's a lot of ways that you can win in this real estate market, and that's the goal of this show, is to be your consumer advocate, kind of help you think about those things that you may not consider. And we do that. We've been on air for 12 years now, by the way, and we have 80 different categories that we talk about. We get into real estate credit, finance, estate planning, insurance, technology, all types of great home service providers as well. So think about your white collar, your blue collar. We got your attorneys covered, the legal profession. We got some really great folks associated with this show. Many of our expert contributors have been partners with us for over a decade now. So it's a proven model. It works. We bring on the best. So think of us almost as your personal Google, right? The Consumer Quarterback Show will replace your Google for your local area. So if you need an electrician, HVAC, I got to need a great attorney for real estate or estate planning, any type of category, we pretty much have it covered, so we can help you. And if we don't have it in-house, then we have resources, so we'll help you with that. So thanks for tuning into the show. We got Jennie Restrepo here, more with her coming up. Follow her on Instagram. She's doing a lot out there on social as well, insured-title.com. Quick break, right back, more with Jennie Restrepo here. She's the Director of Marketing, Insured Title Agency, and a wealth of information. But yeah, I love the idea about the property fraud alerts, and I'll tell you personally about my experience with property fraud alerts coming up next here.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Works.
That's right. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right to the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Tired of long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation, aircraft management, acquisition, and sales, luxury jet escapes, and packages. Check them out online, willsmithaviation.com. That's willsmithaviation.com, or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke, American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com, TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at TargetSurveying.net for all of your surveying needs. Land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, TargetSurveying.net. That's TargetSurveying.net. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We got Jennie Restrepo in studio with us here on the program, and we always feature our listings as part of our strategy that helps our sellers sell faster for more money. We maximize the exposure and the profit for our sellers, and we greatly appreciate all of our folks that are reaching out to the show, supporting the program here, and it really means the world to us by listing your properties with us and trusting us with that. So we take great pride in that, helping you win in any marketplace. 7200 Olmerton Road. This is Unit 3, E as in Edward 3 in Largo, Florida, Pinellas County. 7200 Olmerton Road. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You got one spot carport there. over 1,000 square foot updated condo. You got low monthly HOA. You have community pool and clubhouse, open concept with porcelain tile flooring throughout. Kitchen with granite countertops, tile backsplash. Great opportunity. Community pool there as well. You have stainless steel appliances, that dark cherry wood in the kitchen. Great opportunity for a 2-2 condo in Largo, Florida, 7200 Olmerton Road. Great opportunity there. 4798 Indigo Road in Groveland. We got 42 acres of land for sale. 42 acres. Beautiful land here. You got lakes on the property, ponds. 2-2 property there, 2-2 single-family home on site as well. The owner's in process of splitting this up, so if you prefer to have smaller bite-size chunks there, we got 5 acre. We're breaking that down, I believe, into 5-acre parcels, so stay tuned for details on that. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Jennie Restrepo, tell us what this property fraud alert is.
So Property Fraud Alert is the free, and I'm saying free, service offered to you by the clerk of the court of almost every single county here in the state of Florida that helps to notify you. It's an early alert system that notifies you if anything gets recorded against your name in the county where you reside or where your homestead property resides.
Yeah, and so this week I actually, we did a couple things with our home, and so it was interesting. I saw the email come through. I forwarded it to you just to see. Just, hey, take a look at this and see. And then, and it was legit. So we saw the system work firsthand.
Happy to report that it worked exactly as it's intended to work. And Brandon and Lindsay reached out to us, and I went ahead and I looked through everything. I clicked it. I said, well, did you guys do this? And they said, yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Then, so see, proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, so it works.
It definitely works. I think that Brandon signed up right here in studio. It only takes 2 minutes.
Yep.
And if you have not registered yourself or your property, today is your day. What are you waiting for? Let's get signed up for Property Fraud Alert right now.
Yeah, do it.
This is how easy it is. Go to Property Fraud Alert. Google search the county. So if it's Hillsborough County, Property Fraud Alert, Hillsborough County, it's going to come up with a link. You're going to be taken to a page. You're going to put your name in. And I suggest that you also select text alerts because emails can get lost. You select text alerts and you're signed up. That's it. That's how easy it is. It is free. I do not get spiffed for this promotion to Property Fraud Alert, but I highly recommend it because here's what we see. Early notification, if anything fraudulent is recorded against your property, that is how you unwind it with the least amount of headache and hassle.
Yeah.
It's when it goes to the next step of potentially being listed with an unsuspecting real estate agent, overly mortgaged, sold to an unsuspecting third party. When those things happen, that is the thing that you don't want to have to deal with unwinding. You want to get to it way before that ever happens.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's do a quick Pinellas County update here as well. So I want to go to condos. Normally we do single family homes.
Yeah.
Condos, that's the big challenge lately, right? So if you look at condos in Pinellas County, the inventory levels are around 8 months supply.
Yes.
There's 4,184 active condos in Pinellas County, only 526 sold. That gives us a 12.6 absorption rate, and that is close to the all-time low. Well, I guess the recent low was at 10.2 in January. So 12.6%. And then you look at 8 months supply. It was 9.8 months supply in January. That was the high. So kind of that hangover from the holidays. But, yeah, still condo market's pretty tough. What's your advice to condo owners out there?
I think we know what has led up to the condo situation, which is these recent storms and just prices of your monthly HOA fees going up, plus having to have all of the inspections and the milestone inspections because of what happened with Surfside a couple of years ago.
Yep.
So if you are looking to buy a condo, I highly recommend it. It is part of the contract. There's an addendum. You need to get everything on that rider. You need to get the minutes. You need to get the budget and the finances. And if everything looks good, there are lenders out there that can loan on non-warrantable condos, which is probably what a lot of these are. Okay, so call into the show and see if you can get qualified because there may be some really great deals out there, but what you do not want is to buy into one that's in financial insolvency. So it's required that the seller get you all of those documents. You need to work with someone on the Platinum MVP team that's going to demand to get those from the seller in a timely fashion so that you ensure that you're getting a good deal, but you're not walking into a bunch of headaches.
Yeah, exactly. And I got more information about that, but we're out of time on this program. But there was a realtor-supported condo bill that became law just recently. So if you want more info about that, reach out and we'll get that to you. But Jennie, always a pleasure catching up with you.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm glad you mentioned the person in Orlando got sentenced for property fraud.
We're finally seeing these people brought to justice.
That's
so
right.
That's the upside. So number one, protect yourself so you don't become a victim. And then number two, thank you to our lawmakers here in Florida for getting on top of it and seeing these people to justice.
That's right. Good stuff. All right. Hey, another great show. We had State Rep Berny Jaques on the front end, Jennie Restrepo as well. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And thank you so much for supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.